From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up, wake up. Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, fueled by DeLuna Coffee.
Coffee's for closers only.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Let us go. Wake up. It's 5:46 p.m. on the East.
We did it.
Wednesday.
We did it.
We got to get after it, y'all. It's a big showdown. Wednesday night, Braves, Stros, Game 2 of the World Series. If you're here on Thursday for your Wake Up Warchant podcast with reaction from Corey Clark after another Braves victory, sorry. Corey, how
the Friday show will be able to talk about the Bravos being up 2-0, coming back home.
Calm down with you. I can be optimistic about them. You shouldn't be.
I've turned the corner, Aslan. I've turned the corner.
How did it feel? I mean, it was pretty fun to watch that game on Tuesday night. They were in control start to finish.
Yeah, it's cool to get a lead on the third pitch of the game. And man, that's their first World Series win since Andrew Jones was 19 years old. It was 1996 was their last World Series win. They won in Yankee Stadium. So it's been a minute. It's been 25 years since they won a World Series game. So yeah, feels good, buddy.
We're going to be taking your questions here on YouTube, maybe even dip back into the Renegade Express mailbag over on the Tribal Council of Warchant.com. But a reminder that Wake Up Warchant is, as always, fueled by DeLuna Coffee, DeLunaCoffee.com. Come explore our world of coffee.
It's so good.
Check out their website. We're checking it out right now for you all here on YouTube. Use that promo code, again, Warchant15. Look at all these crazy different blends that are all so good. Voodoo, Midnight Shift, Paradise, White Sands, Pensacola, Sunset, Graffiti Bridge. You can read it, but it's all right there. It's all right there over at DeLunaCoffee.com. Even an espresso blend. Do you say espresso or espresso, Corey?
I say espresso, but that's probably wrong, isn't it?
Like penguin, right? Penguin?
Penguin. Yeah, not penguin.
All right, we spoke to Mike Norvell after practice on Wednesday, spoke to Mackenzie Milton, as well as Kier Thomas and Jermaine Johnson. I thought the Norvell thing that was interesting that Ira wrote about over on the website, warchant.com, which kind of goes counter to my whole theory, as well as our guy Naples, Mark. Maybe we'll hear from him later. He is a pillar after all. I thought this was going to be a lot of bad blood, man. I thought this was going to be Taylor Swift, track 5, album 4. But apparently, Dabo was asked on Tuesday at his press conference, have you buried the hatchet with Mike Norvell after last year's fiasco with the game cancellation? He's like, I don't know. I don't even know what the hatchet is. He's like, we get along fine. We're on some subcommittees. I speak to him on conference calls. Was very effusive in his praise for what Mike Norvell's done and how difficult of a task he had turning this thing around. And then Ira asked Norvell after practice Wednesday, Corey, just, hey, are you guys cool? Like, how did that all work out? And I thought he gave a pretty sincere answer that, stuff happens. There's emotions involved. So I thought there was going to be like this bad blood element that Mike Norvell's like, I will not be denied. My boys are going to go up into Death Valley and we're going to steal some sod and take our pride back. But that doesn't seem to be the case, I don't think. Or did you listen to it?
I did. It was fine. I did think it was interesting, but I also thought like he would, if there was bad blood, if he's still irate, which he would have every right to be, I don't know that he would tell us, right? Like, why do that? Why poke the bear? You're not, look, we can all make fun of Dabo. Mike Norvell's career isn't close to Dabo. So maybe that's not the fight you want to pick right now, but that does not mean that's what he's telling his players or his coaching staff. And that does not mean if and when they go up there and beat them on Saturday, that he's not going to just want to dance from end zone to end zone and high step all over that field and pick up all the sod. Like he's going to be very, very excited, not just because of he would be very excited, not just because of a win against the dominant team in the ACC, but because of what this guy said about his program last year. He can say what he wants publicly. And I'm sure Dabo told him, hey, I wasn't taking a shot at you, Mike. I know you wanted to play, but you were taking a shot at his program and his university. And there's no other way to explain it other than that. So, yeah, even if there's bad blood, it's not like it's something he would want to talk about this week, right now before the game. Maybe he has a snide comment after the game. Maybe that's when Norvell, unfurls the cannons or something.
I just think he's been pretty transparent and pretty honest with us. He kind of, to a certain extent, I think Norvell wears his emotions on his sleeve when he speaks to the media. So I thought there might have been because listen, he gets uncomfortable when I ask him most of my questions.
Well, we all do.
Be nice.
Sorry.
So yeah, that caught me kind of for a surprise. I'm not disappointed. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I just thought there might be a little visible venom coming from our guy, but that's fine. Still feel good about things. Watch the whole half of the Boston College Clemson game. That'll be part of our breakdown on the Friday show of this program. But
okay,
we turn things over to you folks here on YouTube. And wow, people get listen, man. Gator Kirk's got some fire in him right now. This came from where'd he go? He asked this question. I guess he deleted it. I don't see it there anymore. Or maybe it was from Trench Talk. Never mind. I'm all over the place, Corey. I'm trying to feel okay. I'm trying to get us settled in.
I see what Gator Kirk said. Could I click on it?
Sure.
I got it right there.
Gator Kirk says, I may not call Dabo out in public, but in my mind, I know what happened. Dabo will be my
expletive.
Yeah.
B word.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we'll see. Norvell would probably never say anything. Like Jimbo never say anything about Cutcliffe publicly. But Jimbo didn't like that dude and that dead fish handshake and some of the things that Cutcliffe, said about Vic Valoria and everything. I just don't think there's not much to gain by coming out, especially before the game, and telling everybody how much you're bothered by something that happened a year ago. But buddy, he was.
Are you ready to come over to the dark side and pick Florida State yet? I mean, we're not going to unveil picks, but like, do you know what your game pick is going to be for the prediction that's going to go into the Warchant report, which will be dropping tomorrow?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Still percolating, still formulating.
I like it. All right, let's turn over to the warchant.com tribal council here as we wait for people to get done making their supper and such. As I say that, people just start throwing cash money at us.
Oh, there we go.
I love you all. This Corso Goon, wake up. First-time poster subscriber here, hailing from Crawfordville. Also the home of former Florida State linebacker Nigel Bradham. Would be nice to have him back in the linebacker group.
And Keith Gavin. Don't forget Keith Gavin's from there as well.
That's true. Looking in the Corso Goons crystal ball, I'm predicting the Bamboo Beasts to roll Saturday 35-16 in a huge road upset for the Noles. With the offense continuing to evolve and Milton exhausting eligibility, would you pursue Spencer Rattler in the event he does enter the portal, or would that cause too much turbulence in the locker room, particularly with Jordan Travis?
No, I wouldn't. I don't. I have not really been all that. I know he was supposed to be the superstar number one player in the country. I never saw that out of Spencer Rattler. They struggled at times last year with him at quarterback. I feel like you could get a golden retriever to average 40 points a game at quarterback for Oklahoma. I mean, it does not matter what they put back there. They average 40 to 50 points a game. That dude is an offensive whiz. Spencer Rattler's the only person in the last 10 years that hasn't been able to make it hum. So I just don't know how good the dude is. And, he gets beat out and he leaves. I don't know. I'm not saying you wouldn't. It'd be great for the competition, but there might be more attractive transfer options out there. And you might like A.J. Duffy a lot and don't want to scare him off by bringing in Spencer Rattler.
I mean, Chubba Purdy's on a tear, 5 straight completions. Maybe 6.
Yeah.
6 going back to last year. Then it wasn't his last throw, the touchdown to Warren Thompson.
There you go, buddy. That's right. Yeah, 3 touchdowns and 6 straight completions. Is there a hotter quarterback in the country?
I don't know. We'll talk about that here on First Take. No Potal. If your enemy is angry, irritate him. Do unto Dabo. Sun Tzu.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. That's like chapter 4.
Yeah.
It's the Dabo Chronicles of Sun Tzu, the Art of War.
Hit that thumbs up, everybody, for joining us here on YouTube Live. We certainly would appreciate it. And if you're listening to the replay on your Thursday commute, possibly, Rob Rathbun says hello with $50. Let's go, Rob. He just says, go Noles, go Braves.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that on both fronts, man. Well, and the money is more appreciated than anything. We do sincerely always appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much. Obviously a pillar. Would like to know more about you, be honest with you. But hey, it's cool that you're here, man. We do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
A little more of that sauce. Who's going for you guys tonight, Corey?
Max Fried.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
and they didn't. He didn't pitch great in the last game. He had it on the road with the Dodgers. But yeah, it'd be nice if he goes 6. I mean, it's It's a bit of a bummer that our postseason ace broke his leg on a ground ball up the middle. That's a bummer. But their best pitcher's out too, so it evens it out a little bit, I guess. But that was a bummer. I can't believe he still kept pitching.
I know. What an animal. That's what I kind of feel maybe a little bit about what's going to happen on Florida State's offensive line, whether or not they get Dylan Gibbons whole game, part of the game, none of the game. I just feel like at this point, at this juncture, man, like Clemson's got 18 guys out that are on scholarship. So I kind of feel like, maybe that evens it up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Even the odds out for Clemson, but I'm not going to, sit here and be like, if only we had full strength on our offensive line. Because I'm like, at this point in the season, everybody can say that.
Right.
Thank you, Rob. We appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Hope things are trending well for you, man. Hope you're feeling good, bud. Eric Angel, Queen City of Cincinnati's here. Let's go Noles, Aslan and Corey. Noles take down Clemson, bring home some sod, part 2. FSU 30, Clemson 14. Go Atlanta Braves, 3 more wins for Corey's team.
From your mouth, Eric, or from your fingertips, buddy. That's all we need. That's all we're looking for. 3 more. Don't care how they come and when they come. Just give me 3 more.
See,
30-14 seems a little just like the other poster was like 35-16. Guys, I love it. I love the confidence. I love the optimism. That would be that would be almost unbelievable to go in there and beat Dallas or beat Clemson by 2 touchdowns. I mean, I know they're not the Clemson that we're used to, but nobody's going into Death Valley and putting up 30-something points and beating them by multiple scores. That hasn't happened. Man, that hasn't happened since Jameis. That's probably the last time I know they lost in 15 to Pitt or whatever it was. They won 30-something. But every time they lose at home, they lose on a field goal or something. Like they haven't been completely dominated or outplayed in their place since 8 years ago.
Well, but those guys aren't there any longer. The reasons for why they defended the fort for so long are all gone, man.
That's right. So, I'm with you, buddy.
Again, I asked you this yesterday and you punted on it, but if you see a score like that, 30-14, like what makes you more surprised that Florida State's defense would hold Clemson to 14, in Death Valley, or that Florida State would put 30 on Clemson's defense? So maybe let me phrase it that way.
Yeah, man, probably, I guess, the defense.
Yeah.
I guess the defense. I just feel like there will be a couple plays made because those receivers are good. The Shipley kid is good. They have some guys, even though the offense is bad, they have some good players. And it's just going to be a unique challenge for a defense that has only played well on the road once in its existence since it's been in school. So, but it could happen. I'm hoping it happens.
And you did say, Corey, that you don't care how the wins come or where they come, just win 3 more if you're a Braves fan.
Same thing with the Noles, right?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to really even say this out loud, but I was thinking about it. Like, that'd be so awesome if the Braves win the World Series, but how big of a drag would it be if the Braves win the World Series 4-1 and they lose the game that you and Brady go to?
Oh, well, we would have left by the 7th inning, so we wouldn't see the final out anyway, man. What are you, crazy? No, I'm getting there early, and I'm making him stay until people clean up because as much as these stupid tickets cost. We're enjoying all of it. No, I would not care at all. Okay. If they won 4-1, the only one they lost was me there. I'm perfectly happy with that.
Good. Look at this guy. Oh, this is
Shane, my man.
And this guy shows up as well. Shane Kirkley, a.k.a. Kirk Knoll.
What?
150.
What?
Let's go, Shane. A never-ending supply of optimism and cash dollars. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, man. That's why your name right there. You guys can't because don't turn the whole thing off, Aslan, but it's right there, everybody. I assure you, it's right there. Shane says a win Saturday and a week from today could be historic. Evil laugh. Whoa. Keep up the great work. 9 more days till we land back in Tallahassee.
I can't wait to see you, Shane, and thank you very much, buddy. Too kind. Again, you got ultras all night. Next time we're hanging out, I promise you. It's on me. It's on Gene, actually.
Oh, I'm like, what would be historic? I think he's saying if they win and we do this show, Shane, let's not get out of control.
Oh,
Christmas season's coming up. You got Thanksgiving, the family. Let's prioritize. I like where your head's at, though. Do like where your head's at.
Yep. And get to see his better half too when they make it down to Tallahassee. Money or not, like money aside from what you guys would give us, it is genuinely exciting to think about you guys getting to be excited about a product again. You know what I mean? It really is. Like, you can just tell there's a sense of excitement around this program again. And it's not because of the money, although that's wonderful. We love it. Just the interactions, the engagement we're seeing on our site, the engagement we're seeing on YouTube, our podcast. Like, people are kind of bought in again. They're kind of they're slowly, I get it, but they've kind of bought in again. They like what they see, and you're starting to see some real tangible proof that the program's getting better. And for all of your sakes, I hope it happens. I hope it happens sooner rather than later. And I hope we're like really breaking down like top 5 matchups here in another year or two. That would be awesome. That'd just be so much fun. It's so much fun to be a fan of a good college football team. It's the most fun you can have as a sports fan.
Thank you. It is, absolutely. Everybody's stoked. There's still some apprehension, some anxiety, but it's just, believe they're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I mean.
What's it hurt? What's it hurt to believe? Nothing.
We turn to Carol over on Facebook.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Wall of text. I'm looking at Clemson's PFF grades on offense. Will Spires, their punter, is their 5th highest graded offensive player, Corey, because I guess of that fake punt they ran.
Okay.
Which brings us to Carol's question a little bit. But, my guy, he went he hit on it, right? He's got 1 snap playing offense. They grade him at 70.7 on a trick play. I mean, come on. What kind of grading scale are they using over there?
Well, it's PFF.
Anyhow, Carol says, wouldn't it not be cool if special teams were to have a big game in Death Valley? Since the punt Ruski was introduced in 88 to win the game against Clemson and they are honoring Bobby Bowden, it is time to bring on some trickery of our own this coming Halloween Eve. Dial up some good offensive plays by producing sweet scores and Jermaine Johnson hauling in more sacks on their quarterback. Why are those words got quotations around them? Are those all like Halloween?
I think like Halloween, like sacks of candy and you eat sweet things in the sacks. I think so. Yeah.
All right.
I get it.
So
I get you, Carol.
Back to my original question, Carol says, what are your thoughts on special teams? As always, go Seminoles and tame the Titans.
Yeah, Carol, they've been bad. I don't know how else to explain it. They have not been what they were supposed to be. They're not what this coaching staff, certainly what they were expecting coming into the year. It's been a disappointment, but there's still season left. And you have to imagine at some point they'll make a big play. You would, and it's not just the return game, which has been almost non-existent. As I think Papuchas pointed out on Monday when we talked to him, Clemson hasn't allowed a kickoff return past its own 25-yard line. So maybe in this instance, you just fair catch them all. Like just say, okay, we can't block it up well enough against these guys. They're too good. I know Papuchas doesn't want to admit that, but I would think maybe this is the time where it's just an automatic touchback. But yeah, it's not just the return game. It's the kick coverage has been bad. The punting game has been fine, and the punt coverage has been the best part of the special teams. But overall, just not making a real impact. And it would be great in a game like this to pull off an upset. Typically, you need either like a huge turnover or a big play in special teams. And this guy prides himself on his special teams. It's what the cornerstone of his program is supposed to be. And so far, it hasn't come to fruition. But no time like the present, Carol. No time. And you're right. It would be a great way to honor Bobby Bowden.
Have you ever seen anybody kneel on a punt return the way that Travis J did against UMass?
No, Travis J is breaking all types of standards of what you do. I know I've never seen somebody. I think maybe it wasn't incredibly dumb. Like once you catch it, and he caught it like this. By the way, he did not. It wasn't here. He caught it like over his helmet. Once you look up and there's 3 dudes there. All right, take a knee. Give up. They don't give you a white flag. That's the only thing you can do. It was odd, though. It was very odd that he did that. And I know some people don't even like him catching it inside the 10. Probably shouldn't have caught that one, especially when you're at the 5. Let it bounce. You might get lucky, and it rolls into the end zone. Don't just say, okay, we'll start at the 5. But it was UMass. Hopefully, those decisions aren't made quite like that against Clemson.
Some guy's a big Philly fan, Rob third generation Phillies fan with family that went to games during the dead ball era, you're the only reason I would not be completely mad if the Braves were to win a World Series.
I've heard that from a few people. I've got some Mets fans for friends that told me they're cheering for me, just like I cheered for Tom Lang when his Mets were in the World Series, and I cheered for the Bucks when they were in the Super Bowl, even though the Falcons are in the same division. I think friendship overrides, or in Rob and I's case, I don't know what our relationship is, Rob, podcaster, listener, but in our relationship, I feel like we have a relationship. You cheer, you want, it's cool to see people you like or your friends happy about something. And we all can relate, right? That's the thing. Like, you can relate to it. I mean, you're not a huge, like, insert team name here fan of anything, but you used to be with the Penguins, the Pens. Yeah. They don't call them the Pains. They call them the Pens. So we can all relate when somebody's going through something like this, and you really want to see a championship. So I appreciate that, Rob. Thank you, buddy.
Brandon Graham likes the way I look. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. Got a sister,
Not me. It's been a long day for the old Clark dog.
Thanks for the
I
many
apologize for the way I look.
I apologize for interrupting you, Corey. Thanks for the many early morning wake up war chants. Y'all got me through the postseason, off season maybe. Will any players make their first appearance Saturday? Will it make a difference? No, Brandon, this ain't the time to be breaking in new blood, unless you're talking about guys maybe like stepping up and turning a corner kind of thing. I think this is going to be playing the hits, right, Corey? This is going to be Jordan Travis handing the ball off to those two dudes, the Sean Gone, the Panda Express.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe Andrew Parchment does something crazy. Although, I mean, we've seen him make a couple big catches after runs, but against a team of this caliber, that'd be something new. But
I was talking to Ira and Jeff about him in particular, because he had a couple nice catches in that game. It's UMass, I get it, but when you watch him on the field running a route, he's got some stuff to him that nobody else on the team does. He's got wiggle. He comes out of his break fast. He just looks more like a natural pass catching receiver. The catch he made getting his toe down against Syracuse, I think. Those are things that these other guys don't do. There's some stuff to Parchment where maybe he could be a difference maker. They don't trust him enough to put him on the field, though. I don't know that he's played a meaningful snap, really, since he recovered that fumble and ran into the end zone on the play that he screwed up so badly that Norvell still couldn't talk about it 2 days later. Even though he picked up a fumble and ran it in, he did his blocking assignment, I assume that's what it was, so poorly that Norvell could barely look at him or talk about him. But he's a guy, I don't know that any of these other receivers can win a one-on-one battle against the Clemson DB. Parchment might be able to. He's got some stuff to him, but it's all the other stuff. Blocking, I don't know, mainly blocking, I guess, running the right route. I don't know. He's in their doghouse, clearly. He's only playing when they're up by 50 points. But maybe they're biding their time, and it's going to be the Parchment show on Parchment Funkadelic on Saturday in Death Valley.
And hey, man, he spoke to Ira before he arrived at Florida State this past summer and talked about his long-term goals. And I don't know how practical those are, but it wouldn't be a bad thing to put some stuff on tape against that Clemson team, right?
Sure. If he can get on the field, that's probably the first part of the tape he needs to take care of.
Yeah. By the way, do you have a microphone stand now, Corey, or are you balancing?
No, I'm just leaving it on the table. Does it sound the same? Because it's not so close to my mouth, but does it sound okay?
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
All right, good. All right.
Curtis Parker says it sounds really good when you open your Coca-Cola bottle. Share a Coke with somebody.
Wanted to make sure everybody heard that.
Yeah. You're his favorite, Corey. He appreciates
thank you, buddy.
my recent positivity. I know I got to change that. People start getting bad thought, wrong idea. All right, over under 28 points this week. I think I'm going over on it, Corey. I just think I am. Is there a pick six in there? Are they going to block a punt? Is Travis J taking one to the house? Is he going to fake a kneel down and then burst through? How about Dabo? So you saw the DJ Ungulale threw an interception on a shovel pass, right? Yes. Pick six. He called it the shovel six in his press conference, Dabo. Like, did he really making fun of it? Yeah, fish out of his guy. He said twice. He's like, well, we had this one touchdown and we couldn't get it. That was a big swing. Then you got the shovel six. And I'm like, it's like the kick six. Yeah, that's funny. Already taking shots at his offense. He's got that's somebody that has a lot of job security and has won a few things in his life. He can make fun of things like that.
Norvell probably would not coin it the shovel 6 if it happened to him. I'm going to say under, but just because you're under 28 doesn't mean you can't win.
Yeah, look at this.
I mean, Pitt showed us that. Georgia showed us that. NC State showed us that. You can be under 28 and still beat this team.
Khalil Young's here, everybody. Khalil, let's go, man.
He's a pillar. I'm on board now. I'm on record. Khalil Young is a pillar. You need to come to Tallahassee at some point and sign this thing, Khalil.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Thank you, Khalil. I hope we make it interesting. I mean, Khalil, you're a pillar. Why you set the bar low? You want it to be at worst, it's going to be interesting.
Khalil, I'm with you.
It's frustrating trying to explain to my 15-year-old brother how great FSU normally is, but all he knows is Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson. I'm sure you guys would agree there aren't 10 programs cooler than FSU when it's going.
Well, look, we talked about it yesterday. There's nobody that's done what Florida State's done. I mean, they squandered some national championship opportunities because they didn't have a kicker. I get it. But, finishing the top 14 years in a row is unprecedented and will never happen again. And it was all kinds of players. I mean, it was just greatness after greatness after greatness. And, yeah, there's something different. It's the combination of, the uniforms, the helmet, the stadium, the city. It's an ACC school that treats its football like an SEC school. It's surrounded by other SEC schools. It was late to the party. Ohio State and Bama have been playing since the Civil War. And then here comes Florida State coming in after World War II. They got an 80-year head start on Florida State, and all of a sudden they're right there with them. Yeah, man. I don't think there's. I don't know, man. What would be cooler than when Florida State's going well? USC, I guess, but that's LA. You don't cheer for people out in Los Angeles. I don't know. I think Florida State's about as good as it gets when they're rolling.
I think Nebraska, just because they're thirsty.
Well,
man.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, then you're still in Lincoln. It's cold.
Right.
Yeah, no, this is the place to be. It's been good times. I think
I'm with you, Khalil. Preach.
He came back later with 20 more American dollars because he's crazy. Khalil is $20. Thanks, Khalil. He thinks that Deloach has probably been the most improved player on the team, but as Khalil Young, said before, I think Cam McDonald has something to him, and we are seeing flashes this year. Get him the ball. He could be really good.
I don't disagree with that. And Deloach probably, I'll say this for the 20th time. I never thought Deloach would play a meaningful snap for this team. He was just out of my brain. He was out of my consciousness as a linebacker on this team. And maybe it's because Emmett Rice got hurt. He took advantage, whatever it is. He's proven to be at least a decent college defender, and he's young. So by the time he's a senior, he might be awesome. Who knows? And yeah, Cam McDonald, he's had some nice moments this year. He's shown toughness when he's near the goal line of getting into the end zone. He's had, I think, one bad drop. I can't remember him having a lot of crucial ones. He's made guys miss on little screen passes. I like his game. I don't know that he's an outstanding blocker or ever will be, but as an extension of the wide receiver core, he's a big target that can move pretty well and is certainly solid. I don't know. He's not Kyle Pitts or O'Leary or anyone like of that ilk, but he's a solid college tight end, man. He's an actual guy you gotta put on the scouting report.
It does seem crazy because he looks quite well running out there. He seems more physical at the point of attack. Seems like he's blocking better. But yeah, I don't know. And they need all the help they can get in terms of pass catchers. So I am surprised why he really hasn't blossomed more, perhaps. But I would put that more on maybe him looking better than he actually plays, possibly. I don't know.
But he takes advantage of his opportunities, it feels like. Because he doesn't get a ton of them. Nobody does. With Jordan Travis at quarterback, they're not winging it 35 times a game like they did against Louisville. That's not in their DNA. So they're not throwing it all over the field anyway. So he only might get 2 targets a game. I feel like he's doing pretty well with those targets.
Brandon's back, and he brought money with him this time. Brandon Graham stepping away from the Eagles, practicing to
right.
Appreciate that. That's
He's
awesome.
still in the league, Brandon Graham, kid from Michigan?
I think so.
He might be. It's been a minute.
Will Emmett Rice play? And when he does, what kind of difference will the players that are yet to return from injury make? Go Noles.
What do you think, Aslan, if you had to put money on Emmett Rice playing a down this season?
It would be kind of weird to throw him out there on the road against Boston College, right? Or on the road at Florida. Like, hey, welcome back.
Right.
Out there to help us out. He's rehabbing. He's out there trying to get involved. Leonard Warner's a guy that we've seen take live reps, like live pass rush reps against offensive line. So I think like he might be closer. I don't really know how much of a difference he would make. I would assume though that, man, he's doing everything he can to play because he's kind of in that Hamza situation where I'm sure he wants to put something on tape to help springboard his future. But I don't foresee it happening, and I don't really know how much of an impact it would make. There's my pessimism coming back.
Either way, though, Brandon, we do appreciate it, man. You're right. Aslan he always looks clean. You should see him at practice. I haven't been in a minute, but he'll wear these like dress white pants to practice. Like everybody else is. You can imagine. Look at this, and I'm on live TV, and this is what I wear. So you can imagine what I'm wearing when nobody's looking at me. In Ira, I won't even go there. And then you got this guy dressed like he's going to a wedding. Just always to the nines, this guy. So we appreciate it, man. Thank you, buddy.
Fake it till you make it. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, man. We do appreciate it. There's our guy. Naples in the house. Stand up. 941. I think that's the area code. He's right there. He's at the top of it. He's at the top. Smart. He's a lawyer. He knows what he's doing. Miller put his name all the way at the top of it. It's Mark in Naples. He says, wake up. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the $50, man. That's awesome. For real. The gap from Clemson is closing. The bamboo is sprouting. Nice to believe again. Can't wait to see you and Ira smash that rock, Corey. Go Noles. We will want it more on Saturday. Should we do that, Corey? Should we go buy, I know he's talking about Howard's rock. Should we go buy a rock that Florida State uses and spray paint like the paw on it and maybe have you and Ira smash it with a hammer out there?
Yeah, like 10 minutes later, we still haven't made a dent. And it's just us just trying to, give me something. We'll chip away, banging it against bricks. I don't know. I feel like it's something it has to be spontaneous. I feel like you jinx it if you bring something to celebrate before you've actually got anything to celebrate. We said on headlines that, they take the sledgehammer and break the rock in the locker room after a win. Why not go and get Howard's rock and bring that in the locker room? Who's going to wait till the Clemson kids get back on the bus to go to wherever they go? So nobody's the Clemson players. So nobody's there to really stop you. And just go take that thing. Go take that thing. We weren't cowards this year. Spray paint something on it. What would be do you think they have like 24/7 security around the rock?
Somebody at the beginning of the show, I don't know if it's still up here. I think I might be able to find, but they said that it got vandalized in 2013. So now there's a bit of security around it, I guess, apparently. So,
but there wasn't for like 100 years or 50 years, however long they've had that thing.
That's what Nole Nation says. Remember y'all talking about trying to get to the rock at Clemson. It was vandalized in 13. So not sure how available to the public it is after it happened.
Well, there's only one way to find out, Nole Nation. We're going to go looking for it. We're going to go looking for it.
Thank you, Nole Nation. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. Let's keep this show rolling here on YouTube. If you get the thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate that. Ingvar
Where's
in
this
Russia. In Russia, what part? Are you in Europe or are you in the Asian part of Russia? It doesn't matter. Let's go, Ingvar.
That's big time, Ingvar.
Wait. He gave us 100.
What is a ruble?
He gave us 100 rubles. Come on, Ingvar.
I'm gonna look up the exchange rate while you talk.
In any event, thank you, Ingvar. Huge love from Russia. I'm Middle Eastern, so I can speak in a Borat accent and get away with it, hopefully.
Sure, absolutely.
Still waiting to beat Tigers this week. It's going to be the biggest game this season for us. Yekshemesh. Thank you, Ingvar. Indeed, it is going to be the biggest game of the season. I think if they're winning, if they've got 7 in a row going into the swamp.
It's $1.42.
$1.42. Okay.
Hey, we still take it. We take all kinds. Ingvar. We appreciate it, buddy.
That's amazing. Is this the biggest game of the year, Corey? Will this be the biggest game, period, point blank?
I think no. I think it comes down to the biggest one is the one of these you win. because of what it means. You know what I mean? Like I just, you can lose this game and still beat Miami or beat Florida or beat them both. And this game won't feel like it matters that much. You got a chance for some really, or NC State for that matter, some really big wins down the stretch that propel you and give you some momentum that I think is true moving forward into the recruiting season and the offseason. You need some positive momentum. So whether it's this game, which would be enormous, but would it be any bigger than winning at Florida? I don't know. I feel like they're similar.
Well said. Given
It would be huge, though. It'd be an enormous win.
I don't want the conversion. I want the rubles, Corey. Like I want.
Well, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta. Do we have a rubles, like a place we can store our rubles? Is it like Bitcoin? Nobody's giving us Bitcoin.
Well, now that you say that, I should have gone right to the Kraken read, but we'll talk to Atlanta Nole for a second. ATL Nole. Also, Panama Jack asked, Corey, do you think the Braves and Bulldogs can break the sports team curse this year for the greater A, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe, guys. I believe, and you got to believe with me. It's going to take all of us. But yeah, absolutely I do. I'm much more concerned about the Braves than I am Georgia, though.
All right, so ATL Nole, thank you very much. We appreciate that. $20 in the jar for us. Went to my first game at Doak last Saturday. It did not disappoint. Awesome.
Nice, man.
Glad you got to see a big dub. Love my Noles. Scout those Tigers. 4 wins in a row. Here we come, but we have to play a perfect game. No turnovers, no stupid penalties, and good execution. I saw somebody else talk about like it's going to take a heroic effort to beat Clemson. I think it's going to be a battle, man. I think it's going to be physical. It's going to be nasty. I don't think they have to play perfect, though. I don't think they're going to have to play perfect or find some deep gear inside them they never knew existed. I don't think they'll have to do that.
No, I don't either, because you can't. That's like nobody plays perfect, so that means you just can't lose. I think what it means is perfect in the sense that low number of penalties, no back-breaking penalties, and you can't lose the turnover battle. You can lose a cut. I mean, you might turn over once or twice, but if you pick them off 3 times, you're good. You can't. You have to play clean. I think clean is a better word than perfect. Play clean, and you got a chance.
I like it, Corey. Speaking of clean, actually, I don't even know how that would really segue, but we'll use those rubles to increase our portfolio, or rather increase our portfolio. Over at Kraken.com, everybody. If you've been interested in investing in cryptocurrencies, but you're not sure where to get started, go to Kraken.com/Warchant, where you can get started with as little as $10 into the cryptocurrency game. You can buy and sell over 50 different cryptocurrencies all through the Kraken app from the comfort of your home, the palm of your hand. So go to the App Store, download the Kraken app, or go to Kraken.com/Warchant. You'll see that banner right at the top. Hi, fans of Wake Up Warchant. Sign up below to start buying and selling crypto, or find us in the App Store. So they're even saying hello to you. They're welcoming you with arms wide open. Find out for yourself why Kraken has been one of the highest rated places to buy crypto for the last 10 years. We'll see how much the rubles transfer over for us there. Gator Kirk telling everybody to hit the thumbs up button. Yeah. Thank you, Gator Kirk. Appreciate you.
Well done. Subscribe. Always be subscribing.
There we go. No Patal says, Corey, we don't pay you for your looks unless you're pouring champagne on your head.
Well said. Yeah, I've never been. What kind of company would be paying this for the looks?
Yeah, come on, No Patal. Be nice. All right. Said Hazel, Pitt had a good game in the air. Do you think we can win that way?
No. I think you're going to have to make some plays through the air, but you're not throwing for 300 yards against this defense. What I think is interesting and something that maybe to keep in the back of your head is, again, we've talked about it, but when DJ came back in the game and let them down, they were down 27-10, right? And they went and scored a touchdown about 7.5 minutes left. Pitt ran out the clock. Clemson never got another shot. And I don't think he might have completed 1 or 2 passes on that drive, but the big conversions were running conversions, and 2 of them were by him. And he's not he can move. He's clearly an athlete, but Pickett isn't Jordan Travis. So that to me was maybe the most encouraging thing from a Florida State perspective is Clemson knowing Pitt was going to try to run the ball because they were trying to run the clock, and they still couldn't get off the field. All right, that's not, Pitt's got a better offensive line than Florida State, but it's not an incredible offensive line. Now you have to defend them a little differently than you do Pickett. But no, I don't see it being like Pitt. but you are going to have to make a big play or two in the passing game just to keep them honest.
Look at that, man. 15 plays for 49 yards in nearly 8 minutes to salt that game away. 3rd and 7 conversion, Pickett runs for 8 yards. Another 3rd and 6, Pickett runs for 7 yards.
Yeah.
3rd and 2. You got no more time. 1 timeout left. 6-yard run. Look at this. 3rd and 5. You got 2 yards, but you got that.
And then they started taking a knee. So they didn't throw a pass. They took over and ran the last 7.5 minutes off the clock against Clemson without throwing a pass.
Yeah.
Now they called a couple passes, I think, and Pickett ran him in, but that's crazy. That should give you a little bit of hope that you might be able to, Jordan Travis could maybe get outside and make some plays maybe with his legs to keep drives extended, but he cannot the Panda Express, it can't just be all on those guys in the backfield to move the ball. The receivers have got to make some plays, make somebody miss. Like Dillingham said, don't let a 9-yard gain be a 9-yard gain. Like make somebody miss and make a 9-yard gain a 50-yard gain.
In his press conference on Tuesday, I think Dabo seemed legitimately not disappointed, but kind of bummed out. Man, I really wish I could have seen DJ go back out there. He was certainly hoping that sitting him out for that series or two and then putting him back in the game and seeing him score was maybe going to be something that was going to help jumpstart his confidence. And the fact that he didn't get that opportunity, kind of stuck with Dabo. He's hey man, it was really important for his development to be able to get that extra drive and see what he's made of, but they didn't get that opportunity. Everybody
sure didn't, and you got a whole new animal coming to Death Valley on Saturday.
Our guy Wes in the Villages, what's up, fellas? I'm working, so I'll just have to cut my promo. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as Warchant. Drink your delicious DeLuna coffee. Go Noles.
You tell him, Wes. You tell him, dog.
Appreciate you, man. Let's see here. Here's our guy Steve-O, Big Steve-O. Outside of Jordan, who would you think is the most important player going into this game? He's got Cam McDonald on the menu, maybe Pokey, unless Jordan Wilson he's talking about.
Right.
Got to block those linebackers and Jamie Robinson. No wide open receivers.
I would say Jamie Robinson's a good pick because he seems to have really stabilized the defensive backfield by moving up back to safety and letting Noles play. I would say Kevin Noles, not Seminoles. I still think number 2 is always going to be Jermaine Johnson. I think he just impacts the game, not just because not one sack a game and then he doesn't do anything else. He's just a very good football player. And you have to account for him. So you have to change maybe the way you block on a certain play because you don't think your tackle can handle him. That's the kind of guy, that's the kind of player he is. So I still think he's number 2 behind Travis.
I'll go with Fabian then.
Okay.
I think Fabian, obviously, with their sort of propensity, a little bit weak between the tackles. They got a really good tackle. The McFadden kid, I think his name is. Yeah, Jordan McFadden. That kid's legit. They got pretty good tackles.
Okay.
I think their center's got a busted hand. They lost that Bockenhorst kid. Yeah. They lost him, although he really wasn't grading out all that high. But yeah, Fabian's a guy that's been controlling the line of scrimmage for Florida State all season long. So limit Shipley, limit that Maffa kid, who I think almost is better than the Kobe kid that's going to be out with COVID. They still got 2 good running backs. So slow down the run game, collapse that pocket. I just think he's more able to rush the passer.
All right. Hey, that's a good pick. It's a good pick.
I'll go with Fabian. Noel Fan 407 dropping $10 in the jar. Hey man, thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thank everyone. Again, thank you so much for all of them.
Thank you, America. Thank you, the world. Thank you, the World Wide Web. We're Wake Up Warchant. Evening, gentlemen. Love the show and go Noles. What do you think is the percentage of run and pass plays on the first drive? And what do you think it'll need to be to win the game?
Let's say it's a 10-play drive. That makes percentages easy.
Yeah.
I would say 6 run, 4 pass. But one of those passes might end up being a scramble for a first down. But it's a pass play called. So I'm going to say 6 and 4. And I think that's probably I think North Carolina, they were probably 20% run, 80% run, 20% pass. They only ran 54 plays. And I know he threw 13 times, so my math is a little off, but I feel like that's about 25%. I don't think you can do it at 25%. I think it's got to be 60-40, but it needs to be 60-40 run. I think that's where that's where you want to live, but you've got to make some hay in the passing game. You can't throw for 72 yards and beat Clemson or 102. You've got to make some hay in the passing game.
I know we tease our friends over at Pro Football Focus. Does this sound right? They've got Florida State running 475 plays on offense so far this season. 228 of them rushes, 247 passes. Does that sound right?
No, and I wonder what it is since Jordan's been the starting quarterback. They have, but remember that Syracuse game, they did throw it like 34 times for 111 yards because they were all 2-yard completions. So I guess those count. Those are really running plays. You're just throwing it to your running back in a different spot, but I guess those count.
I would say 70-30 on that first drive. 70 run, 3 throwing. Although okay. I don't know how many 10-play drives they're going to have. It does feel like they're going to score, I think, on some shots.
It could be a 1-play drive. Yeah. Pokey Wilson 75 to the house. And then he's going to do this number as he gets into the end zone. Probably get flagged for it and get kicked out of the game.
I saw somebody on the Renegade Express, which we'll probably get to it on Friday's show, everybody. It's for the people today, the YouTube folks. But was asking about like unsportsmanlike penalties. Seems like they're not getting called as much. Like, did you see the Iowa State game? Like, Iowa State guy.
Yeah. For taunting or something, right? Yeah. Just for turning around.
Yeah. And that's, I've seen, I remember when they enacted that rule, it was like, you're going to lose the score. Like it's going to be, right. I guess it's flagged from the spot of the foul.
Yeah.
You actually score the touchdown. You're in the end zone. Then you do it. You're okay. But yeah, if you're at the 5-yard line and you look back, all he did was like look back at the kid and probably bark something, but it didn't look that bad.
Yeah, it's a referee wanting to impact the game. I mean, it's just crazy. That's what's so bothersome about those kind of calls is they're not universal. There's some referee will let that go. He'll let Jarvis Brownlee dance in the end zone. I think Cushney danced after he got his sack, and they didn't do anything. But then other referees see something like that, and completely change the outcome of a game. Like, you need to come up with a clear set of rules on what is and isn't tolerated and stick by it. And just get rid of the taunting rule. If as long as you're not gyrating on the guy's body, do whatever you want, man. Like, because there's too much gray area between what's taunting and what's just talking trash and what's retorting to the other guy that talked trash to you. What's just, gamesmanship. I don't know, man. I just think it's the taunting stuff is just crazy.
Hey, Trey asked this question during Trench Talk, like I was going to pull it up on the screen. I'll pull it up for you, though, Corey. Is Jarvis Brownlee the Corey Mangum of this era?
I don't think DLT would have gotten that reference.
Yeah.
So it's smart that you didn't do it. No, Jarvis Brownlee is a better player than Corey Mangum. And I've never blamed Corey Mangum. It wasn't his fault. He was at Florida State. No, Jarvis Brownlee has made some plays in his career. He plays a ton. And he is he plays every snap. So I don't want to put him in the same. And Corey Mangum might have been a hard worker too, and a nice enough guy. But I think Brownlee's better than that.
Quantrell Knows wants to know, Corey, in your opinion, who is the best Seminole from South Carolina?
Got to be Boulware, right? The older brother.
Oh.
It's got to be. I mean, he's one of the. Who else is even in the run? I mean, I know there's some other guys, obviously, from South Carolina, but I would say Lawrence Timmons was a pretty good one. But no, Peter Boulware wins that award.
Lorenzo Featherstone?
I think he was from North Carolina, buddy. You got your Carolinas mixed up. Yeah.
Greg Jones?
Greg Jones, yeah, from Beaufort, right?
Yeah.
He's a good one. I still think we read those numbers yesterday. Yeah. That guy was insanity. Was a consensus All-American, so he had a first-round pick and a Super Bowl champ, so I think he's the winner.
I missed this one. Sorry about that, Derek. It's our guy. It's Derek. It's XDQ004 from the warchant.com Tribal Council. XDQ, you might be able to get on here just because of your fidelity to always posting on the Renegade Express. Corey, we left that Kentucky-Wisconsin Final Four game early to beat the traffic, and we also had to walk a mile as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys need to start like a support group for fans.
Yeah, Derek understands, man. Derek understands. Sometimes you'll read about it in the morning, or you'll see the highlight on your phone. You don't have to actually be in the stadium.
How many rushing yards do we need to have in order to get this dub on Saturday?
2 Bills. I'm going to say 212. We're looking at 212 as your over-under. Okay. That's the sweet spot. If you can get over 212 yards, because you're going to sprinkle in 150 or so through the air, you hope, God willing. If you're putting up 350, 360 yards on Clemson, you got a real viable shot at scoring some points and winning that game.
Thanks, Derek. Did I give you a soundtrack?
But yes, thank you very much, Derek. It's very nice, man. Thank you.
Right there. Cubby Knoll, did I miss the Gibbons injury update? Yeah, rewind. I think probably the 37 second. No, we don't know. There is no update. We didn't ask Norvell about it. Norvell doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And you're not allowed to comment on what you see in practice anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but hey, Corey, myself, and Ira will be at the game. Go to warchant.com's tribal council for the pregame thread. Ira's going to have binoculars. Corey's going to have binoculars. They'll be able to see what's going on out there and make the read for whether or not Dylan Gibbons will be out there for the Noles. Again, though, remember, man, Clemson's out 18 dudes. We'll be okay. Okay.
You tell them.
In the win two asked, will there be a medical exemption for Emmett Rice? I asked Norvell that, and he didn't answer it. So I don't know.
I mean, it's been 6 years, right? Like, I don't know if you keep getting hurt, or they just let you keep coming back. I'd be cool if they did. Who does it hurt? Nobody. But I don't know if that's even a possibility, or if he'd want to do it. Like, some people are just like ready to move on. Like, they don't want to be, when he's not, I don't think he's trying to be a doctor, but he'll have been at Florida State for 7 years. So, maybe he is. I don't know what he's doing in grad school, what he's pursuing. We should ask him that. He's been here for 6 years, man, right? This is his 6th year. So that would be number 7. But I don't even know if it's a possibility, if it would even be allowed. We should probably get some clarity on that.
Well, how beautiful would it be to bookend his career with an Orange Bowl appearance after Florida State runs a table and somehow ends up in the ACC championship game and wins that and goes to the Orange Bowl?
Yeah, because he played against Northern Illinois, right? He was on that team.
Exactly.
Right? He was on kickoff coverage.
I thought it was on kickoff coverage against Tommy Frazier in Nebraska. Actually.
That's right.
Casey Owens, glad to see Dustin Hopkins with an NFL team. Chargers, right? Hanging out with Asante and Derwin. I won't ever forget the time I watched him kick the 55-yarder against Clemson when I was in 7th grade. I got the tickets for being on honor roll.
Nice. Man, that was a cool game to be at. That ball was crushed. Like that ball, that would have been good from probably 62 or 63. I mean, he crushed it. And the sound it makes, if you go back and listen to just the replay of it, the sound it makes coming off the foot is just ridiculous. He missed some other big kicks, but Casey, maybe you're the good luck charm. You saw the big one that he made, the huge one.
Derek Neal asks, when we win, Corey, can you knock over a tombstone in Clemson sod cemetery?
Yeah, I'll go spray paint War Chant for life. 850. I probably won't do that, but it is. I keep forgetting they have one of those. That's really bizarre. Clemson, come on, man. Y'all got it cool. Like, Clemson has a cool tradition. They run down a hill and rub a rock. Why would they need to take a sod cemetery idea away?
Trying to find the GIF of Hollywood Hogan spray painting UNWO, but I can't.
Right.
Ingvar's back from Russia with 111 rubles this time. He says in Russia, 100 rubles gets you 1.5 liters of good beer or a kilo of pork. Prices in the U.S. are too overrated. Really sorry for don't be smart for small though. Come on, Ingvar.
We appreciate all sizes, Ingvar. We do. I don't quite understand what's going on here. Like, why are you clearly you're a Nole fan because you're watching this show in your avatar. How did that happen? Maybe next show. I know we're about to close up. Ingvar, come back next show. You don't have to give us a donation. But I want to know how this happened, how you became a Florida State football fan.
Good.
Or is it somebody just screwing with us? Can you Is there any way for you to donate rubles to someone, or is it totally dependent on where you are in the world?
I think
Like YouTube recognizes it, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think I can't like donate in Indonesian dollars or anything like that.
Oh, all right.
Gregory Morand, one of my cynical brothers out there, brings up a good point. We should be cognizant and remember that Clemson was also scared of the passing game that Pitt possessed. Will they be the same way with FSU?
Well, that was my point. Like, absolutely great point. It's fair to point out, but late in the game there, Clemson was trying to stop the run. They were not really scared of the pass. It was 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. They knew Pitt was going to run those first 2 downs, and they still couldn't get off the field. Like that again, that's what should maybe encourage you, is that Pitt ran them off the field and never had to punt the ball. They ran 15 plays with nursing a 10-point lead, and Clemson couldn't do anything about it. And he didn't throw a pass. Now, maybe they were scared of the pass, but that would have been weird for them to throw it too much, nursing a 10-point lead and trying to get them to use their timeouts and run the clock. So that's what, to me, is a little bit encouraging, is the way Pitt ran the ball late in the game. But, yes, they will defend Florida State much differently than they defended Kenny Pickett.
And Florida State doesn't have a conventional – I mean, they have a conventional drop-back passing game, but they don't rely on it. I still think they can throw the ball. Listen, man, I think we're going to see nothing like revolutionary, but we're going to see a different sort of way of them utilizing Jordan Travis and really embracing this whole dual threat kind of thing he brings to the table, man. There's things they've been working on for weeks that we haven't seen in games, so I would assume that they're going to let it ride against Clemson. He's just a pain in the rear to defend. And with the way they let you get away with the whole, offensive lineman downfield thing, which is going to be a real big crisis of conscience for these refs, right, Corey? Like, do they flag Florida State or do they flag Clemson and help? Because they don't like either of these teams, everybody, right? Like, ACC refs don't like Clemson or Florida State.
I felt like they liked Clemson against Pitt. Every other play was a hold. Bring it on back. It's 5 holds in a row. You just broke the record.
Andre Elam says, who would have thought it? We should be 5-2 going to this game. Coaching cost us 2 L's. No worries. We will beat Clemson Saturday. I'll be in town for the Miami game. Hope to see y'all.
Amen, Andre. Well, I wouldn't say coaching definitely costed 1 L. Coaching, that was all coaching. The 1 L that we won't talk about. The other one, I don't know. You put up 38 on Notre Dame, went to overtime.
Well, I think maybe he's talking about, I don't know.
What's he talking about, Louisville?
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess coaching costs you games all the time if you want to get real about it.
Denard says, how much do you factor in momentum from 3 straight wins for FSU this week?
Yeah, I think, look, man, going from UMass to Clemson is you can't even – going from playing UMass at home in front of 35,000 to Clemson on the road, it's 2 different sports almost. But but that was a win, and they looked good doing it. But it's those 2 previous games, too, that build that confidence. And I do think whether you believe in momentum going from week to week or game to game or however that works, confidence does matter. And this team will be playing Clemson with some confidence. Now, we'll see how long it lasts. We'll see if they're confident after the game. But going into that game, because of the momentum they built up from these 3 straight wins, I do think they will have a level of confidence playing Clemson that they have not had in a long time. And that's cool. That's cool to think about, that they go in there thinking they can win. That hasn't been the case in a good long while.
Wrapping things up here on the Wake Up Warchant live show here, fueled by DeLuna Coffee. If you had a thumbs up, we would appreciate it. A lot of folks telling us to not forget about Chris Hope when speaking about great South Carolinian former Noles. So
he was a good Nole. I'd still Boulware, man. You got to. Chris Hope is very good. Probably should have said his name at least to get him in the conversation, but nobody's trumping Peter Boulware. That guy's close to the Mount Rushmore of Florida State football, Aslan. That's how good he was.
Yeah. Let's go hurry up. Daniel Cronin. If we get Destin Hill, if he enrolls, and they get Kevin Coleman, 5-star receiver from Missouri, I think, do we still need to go to the portal for receivers?
Yes. Yeah. I think you need look, if there's one there, don't just go get a receiver to get a receiver. Don't use a spot on the roster for a guy that's going to catch 9 passes for you just because he's out there or in the portal. But yeah, man, if there's a guy that you think can play and play well and start for you, yeah, because you can't. Even if Destin Hill ends up to be really good, and Kevin Coleman for that matter, how much are they going to contribute like against LSU next year as true freshmen? It'd be nice to have some experience and some talented experience. Somebody that's maybe played in a big game or two instead of, nothing against my man Andrew Parchment, but Kansas. You're not playing a ton of big games against Kansas.
Nolan Ashburn, if our offense is going to put up enough points against this defense to win, someone on the offense is going to have a Dalvin-like performance. Who would you most like to see have a career night?
But Trayshawn, I guess. It's a great story.
Yeah.
If he goes and runs, I don't think it's going to take a Dalvin-like performance because I think you get that in the aggregate. Like, you don't have a Dalvin. Who does? There's one team in the world that has a Dalvin Cook. And he gets paid a lot of money to do what he's doing. But you have three guys that can all have Dalvin-type moments, but they're not Dalvin. But together, they're, like I just said, they could run for 212. I don't think it's going to take one individual, though. I think it's going to be the collective. But it can happen. Trey, you got the Panda Express, and maybe Pokey has a couple really big catches.
Leroy's back. Why haven't we just moved Ja'Kai Douglas a slot receiver? Because running back ain't it. What's going on with Wren? 2 years and nothing from him at all.
Yeah, I think Wren's a little banged up, but you're right. They have not figured out what to do really with either one of these guys. And you're right. Like, Ja'Kai Douglas was the only guy on Saturday that failed to impress at running back. And it looked as if he didn't really, and I'm not trying to take a shot at the kid, it didn't look like he really wanted to play running back. So you're right. I think that's something they have to think about in the offseason or even in the middle of the season. I don't know how many meaningful reps you can give him at running back against a real team. Well, clearly none because he's not gotten any. So, yes, slot seems like a natural. They really like him. They think he's dynamic with the ball in his hands, but you're right. From the running back, that you don't see that at all. There was nothing there dynamic about him at running back. And Corey Wren, I don't know. I think they think he could be something at running back as far as just a guy that gets in matchups if you send him in motion and maybe in the kick return game, but it's just not, it hasn't clicked so far. But he's still a redshirt freshman.
Get down or lay downs here, everybody. Thanks, man. Says he's sorry he's late. Had a nap that ran long. Hey, man.
Nice. That's what I like to hear. We love naps.
Clemson's got 15 fumbles. They've only lost 2.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Best fumble recovering team in the country. Wonder if they practice that.
Yeah, that's the most demoralizing thing. I feel like when you're a defense and you need a turnover and the opposing team fumbles, but you can't get on it. That's just if we can make them pay for putting it on the turf, we win. Conversely, if they can catch balls that hit them in the hands, we're in trouble. Thoughts? I didn't know they were plagued by drops. I think they're plagued by just a.
No, they've had some. They do.
Shipley dropped that touchdown.
No, not just that though. I think the Ross kid has had some big drops. That has been a problem. They've talked about it. Dabo's talked about it. The drops have been a problem. Yeah. If they can catch balls and keep recovering their own fumbles, that's a lot of fumbles. You need to win the turnover battle. You don't need to be lucky, and you don't necessarily need to be lucky or perfect. You have to play clean. It would be nice to get a little luck though. And maybe a fumbled snap or a bad snap over his head, something game-changing that you can take advantage of. But what's cool about it is the last 4 years you played Clemson, or if you would have played them last year, it wouldn't have mattered if they fumbled 9 times. It wouldn't have mattered how much luck you had. You could not be in the game with them. It just wouldn't have mattered. Now you can. Now if you get a little bit of luck and play clean, you got a chance to beat them up there.
Last one. All
right, let's do it. Got to get this kid to batting practice.
All right. Blackout Kennels, question, Corey. Does Florida State continue to build their offense around the running game and Jordan Travis? More option looks, etc. Go on.
Yeah, but I wonder if they'll ever incorporate like the speed option, the Tommy Frazier, like run down the line. Like EJ Manuel was great at that, man. And then late pitches to the running back that keeps his relationship with you. Jimbo would do that occasionally. Yes, this is what they are. Why would you stop doing it right now? And I mean moving forward too. Like, they're not going to be Georgia Tech. They don't want to be Georgia Tech. They don't want to run it 80% of the time. But this is who they are. This is their identity. This is what they're going to build around. And everything comes off this. But the first thing they wanted to do was establish an offense that could run and be physical. And they've done that. You can check that box. They're doing things that running for over 200 yards that haven't been done here in 25 years. So now the next step is develop the complementary aspects of the offense to go along with it. So you can hit big plays in the passing game.
All right, that is a wrap for us. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you get that thumbs up on the way out, we certainly would appreciate it. Thank you to Get Down or Lay Down, Ingvar, and all those rubles. Derek, Nole Fan 407, which that doesn't. Yeah, we talked about him. Sorry. Just want to make sure. Khalil, ATL Nole, Mark, Shane, Eric, and Rob.
Hey, check Joel Davis real quick. We got to acknowledge this before we get out of here.
Come on, Joel. There's rules.
Yeah. At the buzzer.
Quorum.
At the buzzer. Brady, it's time to go. Joel, you are the best, buddy. Joel, that was like snare. That was one of Snare's moments right there. Right when we're signing off, he comes with that. Next time, ask a question. Then down goes Dabo, he says.
Yeah.
Joel Davis, you are the man, buddy.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. Don't forget Jeff Cameron Show 1 to 3 o'clock live here on Warchant TV. Warchant Report dropping later on as well. Everybody send your good vibes to Corey and the Braves. We'll talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great one. Thanks for watching Wake Up Warchant. Fueled by the Luna Coffee.